Welcome again to P&L Coaching Expert YouTube channel. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe today. Larry, let's talk about fear.
What is fear, Priscilla? Fear can be defined in a number of different ways, and as we go through today's session, think about these definitions and facets of fear and see how they actually resonate with you. First of all, let's just talk about some of the causes of fear. First of all, one of the biggest and most usual causes of fear is simply irrational beliefs. Beliefs are really, the irrational beliefs really can dictate your decisions and actions and quite frankly emotionally cripple you for forward progress. You know, irrational beliefs really don't have any basis in reality. There's an acronym out there which I'd like to share right from the top. It's FEAR, F-E-A-R, meaning simply false evidence appearing real. And so we must continue to remember this and recall that acronym anytime that you feel you're in a position where you're slipping into a fearful mindset. Secondly, a sense of uncertainty can really play into your fears as well, or cause fear. And uncertainty is really just all about not knowing outcomes, not knowing events that are going to happen in the future, and sort of falling into a pondering attitude and mood, and really just feeling very uncertain about the future, and it causes, unfortunately, creates fear. Now, I want to point out that fear used to serve human beings very well millions of years ago because it alerted us to danger, and it still does to a certain extent, just not as extreme. Humans killed out the saber-toothed tiger thousands and thousands of years ago, so it's not as though we're going to have predators lurking around trying to hunt us like we did in the past. And really, you know, the history of fear is a different topic for a different time, but I just want to mention that the prolonged fear is no longer serving the human beings in its present iteration. So let's move on here. A couple of other things that sort of create fear and what results in fear is one of them. Third one is distorted expectations. You know, distorted expectations are really thinking that you have these future consequences for events that have not actually happened yet. And so you get in the habit of telling yourself stories of doom and gloom in advance. It's like paying high interest on a high interest credit card before you even make a purchase. So don't forget that these distorted expectations might be working very much against your favorable outcomes. Okay, and lastly, sort of the four areas that cause fear. There's distorted memories, and we just touched on that. Yeah, and what that really is we've created these sort of memories of past events that we've blown them completely out of proportion, and we assign some really doom and gloom feelings to those memories. And you know, what you can do is choose instead to think about your memories differently, and in a way that will help empower you rather than discourage you. So this is something we cover in a couple of other of our sessions. So let's move on to the negative consequences of fear. Living in fear is only one advantage, and like I said before, it really just keeps you very alert. And exactly. And however, there's no saber-toothed tigers running around anymore, so there's no mammoths hiding behind the big rock that's going to jump out and threaten your life or your livelihood. So And it makes absolutely no sense in the 21st century to carry this type of fear with you. Fear will only stifle your production. It will stop you in your tracks from being happy and fulfilled. Fear can also stifle, scientifically speaking, your intellectual growth. It's been proven out time and time again. And also fear leads to incredibly bad decisions. So people do make decisions about their life when they're in that condition of fear, and those decisions usually end up to be quite, to lead to quite tragic outcomes. So please be aware of that. So moving on here, finally, fear often breeds destructive behavior, resistance, and insecurity. You know, so gosh, you know, just talking about this topic, it really comes home that fear can be an incredibly destructive force in your life. You really got to get a handle on it. So, so let's discuss briefly what we would call sort of the fear of failure and also the fear of success. Let's talk about fear of failure. First of all, fear of failure is one of the two major fears that you must work to overcome. If you desire to accomplish anything of significance in your life, carefully consider the following symptoms, and they are indulging in the habit of perfectionism. That is one that, you know, you recovering perfectionists would know this very well, and you perfectionists out there, it's just essentially you're getting around doing what is really important because you're afraid of failing, and so be careful of that. Also, feeling like losing control or essentially feeling powerless to take any sort of action that will move you a step close to your desired outcomes. These are fear of failures. Also included, trying to avoid failure at all costs. This can lead to very low self-esteem and low self-confidence. You simply don't believe in yourself or your ability to have the willpower and the discipline to carry out what you need to do. Also, think about your uncontrollable state of mind when it's full of worry and anxiety. You constantly worry about the unknown future, and again, you know, this ties back to the uncertainty aspects. You know, the fear of failure will make you unable to try new risks, to take new ventures to market, or to create new businesses, or play a new instrument, or join a new sport. The fear of failure will absolutely cripple you from doing that in the first place. And finally, the fear of failure basically will stop you from committing wholeheartedly to the attainment of your dreams and your goals. Okay? So let's just pivot now to the fear of success. Equally but differently difficult for many of us. Fear of success, what exactly is it? Well, it's it's the second major fear that we have, and it's really about feeling as though you are not worthy of deserving or attaining your desired outcomes. Yeah, really take some wholesale inventory on yourself about this. Feeling guilty about achieving success or happiness. This stems back to the fact that you feel you deserve less, or you don't believe you should be successful or happy. Fear of success can also persistently be indulgent in destructive behavior that is continuously indulgent or getting in the way, of your progress. And in these instances, you suddenly will do something really stupid that will prevent you from attaining your desired outcome. Now, fear of success is also not making enough effort on a daily basis. So when you find yourself backing off, and you're kind of equalizing back to your sort of norm, which is not taking the extra step or not going the extra mile, and that could be as a result of fearing success. So one of the bigger aspects of the fear of success are essentially indulgent in procrastination. We've talked about this at length here, P&L coaching expert, and folks will procrastinate to avoid success, and that stems from a fear of success. Finally, imagining the negative consequences of success. So some folks, before they actually draw themselves towards success or move towards achievement, they will actually imagine some of the negative connotations that they've been conditioned to believe about success. For example, some parents out there tell their kids in an early age, money is the root of all evil. It's really just a useless saying, but it could actually affect a person's belief later in life that, gee whiz, attaining money and riches may be actually a bad thing. So we have to be careful about that, and this is the first of a 4-video series on fear, and we're going to examine a little bit more detail on the next video. Back to you, Priscilla.
Thank you again for watching, and just be courageous today. Sign up to our channel. See you next video.